Hey, what's going on, my beautiful people? This is your certified life and relationship coach, Coach Court. In today's video, we're going to be talking about whether you should avoid the avoidant person or not. If you're a secure person, you have the potential to, and the skill set to be able to help that avoidant person become more secure themselves. If you're an anxious person and you're used to, or you have the tendency to attract more avoidant people into your life, you may not want to take that route again. You may want to get yourself to the point where you've healed and you're able to stand firm in your secureness before you try to, date or court or whatever you're going to do with an avoidant person. And I know in the beginning of the relationship, you don't know what a person has. You don't know what type of attachment style a person has. And like I talk about all the time, the first 90 days in a relationship, you don't really know what you're dealing with, because they have that spokesperson. They have that person that's not really, I guess, the president, I guess you would say. They have that house speaker out there. And you're like, all right, I kind of like the house speaker. And then the president comes out, the real person. And you're like, wait a minute. I think I like the house speaker better because this person that I'm seeing right now is avoidant. They have a hard time communicating about difficult topics. They avoid the topics altogether. They're not giving me as much love and affection and attention that they were in the beginning. They're workaholics. They're whatever, X, Y, Z. You guys know, you guys have seen plenty of my content on my. If you're new to the channel, do me a favor and subscribe. Should you avoid the avoidant person? Yes and no. That's the answer. Yes and no. If you're a secure person, by all means, because you have the skill set to go into this situation or this situationship or relationship, knowing what you have to do as far as like laying out your boundaries, communicating your needs, learning how to commute or knowing how to communicate. You're not going to walk on eggshells with them. You're going to, let them know like, hey, this is what I need from a spouse. This is what my standards are. These are my non-negotiables. This is my past experiences. So there's nothing to hide there. And moving forward, this is what I expect from this relationship dynamic. So if you're a secure person, go ahead, baby, do it. Do your thing. Do your thing. I say, hey, heal them one person at a time. You're not supposed to be your person's therapist and their counselor and their lover at the same time. Like I'm not encouraging you to do that, but you do have the skills to, make that thing go the distance. For the fearful avoidant person, should you avoid the avoidant? I've worked with that dynamic so much. And it's so triggering to the fearful avoidant person, which means it really diminishes their sense of self-worth. They get really confused as to what they're dealing with and who they're dealing with. So I guess that would be a case-by-case basis. But if it's an anxious person or a fearful person and they're doing work on themselves and they're able to show up in a manner that is holding space for themselves and communicating properly, setting those boundaries, then I say, hey, go for it. But once you know who you're dealing with, once you know the type of person they are and the characteristics that come along with them, then that's when that's when you choose what you want to do next, how you proceed next. Like before you get attached to that person, and I know a lot of people that are anxious get attached really easily. Before you commit any more time to that person and you really lay out your soul and bare your heart to that person, you want to make sure that you're in a good state first. That means you have like a good plan, course of action as far as like therapy, doing everything that I talked about. You got yourself a good regimen, like you got your hobbies, you got your friends, you got your job. Because what I see is a lot of people get triggered when they're with the avoidant person if the rest of the area, all the other areas in their life is off. Usually I see where somebody has just gotten out of a relationship, then they get into it with an avoidant person, or they've lost their job, they don't have a purpose, they're kind of going through like some type of midlife deal going on, and they end up getting into a relationship with the avoidant, and they really struggle mentally because they put a lot of their emotional energy into that person. Tony Robbins talks about this too. It's called the Wheel of Life. if you make a pie chart, all right, of all the different areas of your life, you have health, hobbies, friends and family, work, relationship. Once one of those areas fall out of like whack, unbalanced, let's say you're going through a breakup, then your health is gonna go down, and because you're either gonna eat more, you're gonna eat less. Your workout routine may get ruined. Your work is going to decline. Even if you are an avoidant person, when they go through a breakup, they may put more into their hobbies, into their friends and families, and into their work life. And they'll diminish the other areas of their life. Like the relationship part is clearly going to take a big hit. It's clearly going to go down, and But if you think about it that way, and trying to like rebalance the rest of your life, most people really struggle. He has a 7-week withdrawal. He has 7-week withdrawal, quiet comeback cycle. I usually meet this cycle with the same energy. When he withdraws, I match that. Is that the right approach? To match it, yes. Don't talk about the relationship. Don't try to push anything that's real, like forceful. That's the way you want to go about it. But then you have to ask yourself, like, how long do you want to do this? How long do you want to continue this cycle? Are you really getting your needs met in this relationship? And that ambivalence, after a while, it's really going to eat away at you, causing stomach ulcers and toxic stress, all those things. How long do you want to do that? That's the real question I have for you, Air Bubble. People disagreed on one of my videos where I said it can be a fulfilling relationship, and it can, but the person has to do the work. The avoidant person has to be able to meet you in the middle, because nobody works harder on relationships, even if it's to an unhealthy level, than the anxious and the fearful avoidant person. Nobody works harder or bury themselves in personal development and trying to make the relationship work than the anxious people. But when we see that avoidant person working and actually going to therapy and telling you about their breakthrough sessions and letting you know, hey, I'm going to try this. I'm going to try to, meet your love language. I'm going to try to speak your love languages a little better this time. It's the time where they come up to you and they rub your shoulders and you're like, whoa, that's out of the blue. And they say, hey, yeah, I've been listening. I've been hearing you. The steps that they take to become more secure is what hooks you, because you see that potential inside of them. Unless they're like a severe DA person, then I'm like, don't even stick around, because if they're not going to even remotely try to meet your needs and meet you in the middle, then you're wasting your time. If you found this video of any value, please like, comment, and share. Slam the like button, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you're ready for whenever I go live in the future. Turn the notification on. Reach out to me on my other social media accounts, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, as I am Coach Court.